Hi, I'm Mike Feeney. You might know me as a comedian or that guy from the internet you want to punch in the face. I'm on the hunt for a co-host for my wildly successful podcast. I've received hundreds of applications from some of the funniest people on the planet.
I'm gonna freak out.
Join me to see if they have what it takes to be my co-host. Welcome to Co-Host Wanted.
Today I'm interviewing comedian, podcaster, and cigarette enthusiast Ian Fidance. I love his entire personality. His mustache. He's a good friend, human, and comedian, no matter what you read on the internet. Ian, thanks for coming in, buddy. I'm excited to see if we're a good fit.
Thank you. I was excited before that intro, but this is nice for now.
I think this will be great. I mean, we're gonna have fun. I'm
pumped. Bein Ian with Jordan, it's great. I love it, but I'm looking to do something with kind of, a background and backdrop no one's ever seen before. So this is really nice.
Yeah, this is great. I think so. I figured you were just...
Less is more, plain is good.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I thought that's why I was going to ask about this, if Jordan even knew that you were here doing this, because you do have the podcast. I've done it. It's one of the most fun podcasts out there. I will say that. But it is... It feels like, it seems like it's work for you guys, and maybe you're at the end of your rope. So who knows? Who knows how much longer anything goes? Are you looking for a little insurance? What's going on here?
I mean, I'm always at the end of my rope. And, the good thing about being on the end of a rope is that I burn the candle at both ends. So the flame cuts the rope so I never choke.
Nice. That's fun. I thought it was going to be a suicide joke. It turns into an autoerotic asphyxiation joke with an old-timey trigger.
Oh, I thought it was suicide.
I thought it was suicide too, but
and the flame at the burning candle at the both ends makes the rope cut so I don't die.
Right, so then it's not a suicide. And I figured because that's how you autoerotic jerk off, because that way you won't end up
Have
dead.
you ever done that?
No, because so many people die.
Me neither.
You've done it though, but you've never done that.
No, I've done it with a hand so I can go, but I've never done a rope.
Like hanging from the closet kind of
I've
thing.
played choke chicken before with me and a gal, and we choke each other.
Someone told me that doesn't sound like a thing, but someone told me
it's
that
a Fidance original.
That's what the police report says.
Mm-hmm.
Someone told me that Robin Williams and Chris Cornell and
David Carradine,
Chester Bennington all died from autoerotic asphyxiation, and because of how ruined David Carradine's legacy was by that, the family masked that as suicide. And they were and the reason that they say that is because they're when you look at ex-addicts, that's a really big high for them a lot of times that they could still get.
Well, I remember that was the first high I got was my buddy Mark came over and was like, dude, we got to choke each other. My brother said it gets you high. And we're like, okay. And we choked each other.
Where you take the big breaths?
Slump down. Yeah. But Robin Williams, if that was autoerotic asphyxiation, which I don't think it was, because he had a death wish because of what was going on with his brain, which they kept a secret. But that's a plot of one of his movies, World's Best Dad. It's about his son dying from autoerotic asphyxiation, and he
that's one of the only ones I've ever
lies
seen.
and says that it's it was a suicide and has to play this kind of cat and mouse.
Maybe
game
that's what
with
the
the
person
word
just told me.
getting out.
Maybe someone had just seen World's Worst Dad and then just tried to.
What if they were Robin Williams, actually, he died trying to be a little boy that lives forever. And he got killed in a battle with this guy with a claw hand.
Then he ended up in a jungle somehow with a stampede. That's great. Speaking of sober, by the way, it's 14 years?
Coming up on 10.
Why did I see, what's 14 from drinking?
14 years. Oh, the other day, my post?
Yeah.
14 years doing comedy.
Oh, okay. So, same...
If I stayed sober the first time I tried, what's 2025 minus 2008?
We don't do much math here, but I do think that 10 years. Okay, so I had that. That was my fact checking
in April.
But
God willing,
10 years, incredible. Congratulations, buddy. Since then, you've obviously replaced the vice with accumulating tattoos and cats. Do you worry that co-hosting podcasts will be a new addiction for you, adding this with Jordan?
I know when I get this job, because I always do everything I can to win, no matter what. Fidance always wins.
Okay.
Is this my camera?
I don't know. That one is you, yeah. But then that's our wide.
Fidance always wins.
That's the wide. Yeah, you got your own camera right there.
What was the question?
Fidance always wins. That's enough. I like Fidance. Here.
Ian wins again. Oh, is this reward system?
Yeah. You can't smoke though. You can't smoke it here though, but you can have it. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I can't wait.
Very good.
That's so fun. I'll do anything you say. Oh, yeah. I suck. I'm bad. Oh, the internet's right.
Does Jordan know this? If only Jordan knew this. Why
I don't think Jordan knows where she is.
yeah.
Any time.
Why do you think, and I see it with Jordan, but I just got to ask, it's on the paper. Why do you think you'd be a good co-host?
I'm fun. I'm friendly. And I love a good time.
Yeah.
I'm always willing to yes and I'm always willing to lend a hand.
The rhyming couplets are
I'm
fantastic.
always willing to have fun, and I'm too mentally ill to own a gun. Just kidding. I bought one in Baltimore.
Did you? Pistol or?
For my friend's dad. It was a Glock.
Can you buy a pistol from your friend's dad? Does it have to be like a legal transfer of
I
paperwork?
bought it in Baltimore. They didn't even do a background check. Nothing. They shipped it out, and he got it 3 days later.
Wow.
But he had to pick it up at a gun range in Philly, and then he signed for it, and they registered to him, and then they did the check on him, blah, blah.
So wait, you bought it for him?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
As a gift. Because he's a doctor, and his son is my best friend, and he's also my doctor, and they've done a ton of pro bono work for me. And they, like, took care of me growing up and everything. Sure. They're like family to me, you know. I got him a Glock 19, and the handle.
You put up a picture of a Glock 19?
The handle is Trump's putting his arm up when he got assassinated. It says never surrender.
Does it?
Yeah.
Is he a big Trump guy?
Huge Trump guy.
It would almost be. It's funny either way.
Yeah.
It's great if he was not a Trump guy.
It's so funny. My first gun I bought was for my friend's dad, and it was a goof. That's the one.
Oh my God, that's
the one.
It's an American flag.
No. It's the one with his mugshot. That's what it is.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good friend.
Oh yeah.
Good guy.
You gotta take care of your friends and family. You know.
I love that.
But
answer.
Okay. Yes. Do you want a gun? I'll get you a gun.
I would like a gun.
I know a lot of very good people that do very bad things. I'll get it for you today. I'm not even joking.
It feels hard in New York City to like get a gun, like to like legally get a gun.
Oh, it's like impossible. So many of my friends have guns, and they are not legal.
But can I go to Baltimore and get a gun legally, easily, and then come back to New York? Or because I live in New York, I can't get a gun?
Well, once you cross state lines, you will be in trouble.
Gotcha.
But I'm a good co-host.
Yeah,
I can get it for you.
You can make it work.
Let me tell you, to the listeners at home out there in TV land, they don't check bags on Amtrak or Greyhound.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, you've smuggled a ton of weapons in.
Yeah, and then I get fucking arrested everywhere I go. I bring them in, and then I don't bring them out.
And then you carry them in your loose hands as you walk through. Some people, because I always feel like, because I was going back to the sober thing. Some people always wonder how like addiction starts and everything like that. Like, is it predetermined? Is it come with nature, nurture kind of thing? But I know you, and I know you grew up in Delaware, so you're like, well, there it is. You know what I mean? Like, what is like? I can't think of a single.
They put whiskey in the water.
I can't think of a single.
I grew up near power lines.
Did you?
No. I grew up behind a shopping center.
Okay, that's nothing.
And there was nothing to do.
But that's the
thing. Get into trouble.
Because suburbs is like all of my friends, like Long Island, I feel like might not be totally dissimilar for Delaware, with the exception of like, we can go to Manhattan if we wanted to, but we never did.
That was like Philly for us.
Yeah. How far was it? How far is Philly from you?
Like a half hour, 45 minutes. But in high school, I had a friend group, and there was a do nothings and the do somethings. And the do somethings would, in the middle of the night, go, we're going to Philly. And we get up and go, we're going to Baltimore. Let's go to the Jersey Shore. Those were the do somethings. And there was like 4 of us. And then the do-nothings were the ones that were always like, let's just play video games. I don't feel like leaving the basement.
Right.
You know.
But so many of my friends, dude, like, I don't know if you were that, because I got out once I went to college, but I would always be my friend's, like, drunk dial at home. But it wouldn't even be drunk. They'd be, like, rolling on Molly or any of those things. And
I'm always everyone's phone call at night because everybody knows I'm up all night.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm everybody's
it's a gift and a curse.
4 a.m. phone call just to shoot the shit.
But if someone's calling you at 4 a.m., there's also sort of a, like, you can't be like, I'm not answering that. Because, like, they know you're awake, and that also feels like, what if someone's calling me at 4 a.m., that's probably...
For like, me, I just know, because friends have told me, like, hey, I know you're up, so I'm...
Yeah.
You're the
you
guy
don't ever feel like, hello? Like, you never get worried that
No.
anyone's calling? All right.
No.
That's pretty cool. This is truly what fascinates me, and what I love about, we've never actually talked about this. I only know this because of what you've talked about this on stage. But you used to be a teacher, and was that in like a School of Rock kind of way?
What?
Where like you had a friend that you were
lied.
crashing at, and like you
took my friend
thing.
Ned Schneebly's job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And convinced a group of little suck-up kids that they could become better than they are, and you eventually, once you got caught, it was okay because you showed them the power of music and growing together, and they all. I
got my degree in teaching from NYU.
So
I have a degree
from NYU. You went to NYU?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So you were like legally certified to be there. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's
got a
crazy.
degree, Bachelor of Science in in secondary English education.
I can't picture
Grade
you
7 to
having the
12.
attention because you're always like very moving. Were you always like that, or is this ramped up?
Why do you think I no longer teach?
But I mean, even to go through college and to get that.
I graduated college by the skin of my teeth, you know. And I had, dude, all I had to do was just show up. The job was mine. The school I was student teaching at was on the Lower East Side. The old Seward Park High School, and it was right on Delancey in Essex. And I was the full-time sub. That was the school I student taught at, graduated. They gave me a job as a full-time sub, told me, hey, English department's getting a shakeup. You'll have the job next year, so just get certified this summer. And bing, bam, boom, you know, we'll just transition you into being full-time in the fall. Like, great. And I drank my way out of it and had to move back to Delaware to be a carpenter, yeah.
Dang.
And then I was going to stay in Delaware for the summer, make some money, go back to New York to teach, but I ended up staying in Delaware, and my certification ran out, and I never re-upped my certification. So when I came back to New York, I taught again, but as a teacher with Kaplan, which was test prep. So I would teach English, math, and history test prep, basically how to take the Regents exams.
Bro, you sitting there with children, like trying to study for the Regents and like leg bouncing, like over, like waiting to smoke a cigarette.
I would stand. The whole time.
Just pacing like, yes, that's the right answer. And you're just going back and
it
forth.
was like, every school I taught at, I enjoyed except for the South Bronx.
Why?
I could not connect with that because, dude, it was a level of behavior I had never dealt with in my life.
Uh-huh.
And like when I was going to school for teaching.
Like Dangerous Minds. You were Michelle Pfeiffer?
I thought if I just wore a leather jacket and sit backwards in a chair, I would reach these keys.
Yeah, reach these keys.
But it was like, and I really learned that I can't bring my white discipline into a black community and expect these kids to like learn the way I did and this and that. So I really had to adopt, and it was such a good lesson of like acclimating to a different thing in order to get results and like choosing which fires to put out. That school really helped me at all the other schools I did.
Uh-huh.
But
how long
they
were you
were
at that
so
school?
Atrocious. Well, one of the jobs was like 3 months, and I asked to leave at like 2 months.
Oh. So
because
you
it was like
you tried to
but also these situations were so grossly mismanaged. Like I was alone in a classroom with 36 kids, and after school, after they've been in school all day, they're trying to like learn these things, and they're on like a first grade reading level. Like it was a teacher. There should not be one teacher in a room with 36
That's
fucking
too
kids.
many,
It was crazy. And I would try to get help and all this, and dude, it was terrible. And that job was fucking awful, man. But it's funny because I asked to leave, and then I got hired back at that school to do reading evaluations with the kids.
Okay.
So I would have them read, and I would have to check off like all this stuff. It's like I had to go to training for it and everything. But yeah, that job sucked. But then I taught high school, and I loved it. That was like the best. Kids they understood like sarcasm, and like we would roast each other, and like, you know, it was amazing. Such a wonderful experience. I taught at Boys and Girls High in Bed-Stuy, which was ranked at one point one of the top 5 worst schools in the nation.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was awesome.
Did you feel like a sense of pride being at one of the worst schools? Did you feel like it's like being a Major League Baseball player but on the worst baseball team? It's like you're in the game, but like no one takes you seriously?
No, I think they took me seriously because I actually like cared and like showed up consistently, and they had a great teaching staff there. It was like even though it was like the worst school, it wasn't for lack of people trying. It was just like the kids were lost. There was they had just gotten pushed so far through the system that they were lost, and backtracking to make up on how to catch them up to read and write was like an impossibility. But the staff like still really cared and really worked with them and everything. So it was really great. Like years later, I was on the subway, and this kid ran up and was like, Mr. Fidance, I got into college because of you. And like, we hugged on the train, and like he left, and I'm crying, and these people were looking at me like, why is this old man hugging a teen and sobbing?
And and at any point when you were trying to reach him, did you think like maybe we could all learn a song together and then go put on a show?
Dude, don't even act like I didn't try to have my kids listen to Lupe Fiasco and show them Common and Mos Def and conscious hip hop.
This is the real rap, you guys.
Bro.
We're not about gangbanging here. We're about
straight up
furthering the culture.
Straight up, I will never forget this girl Jasmine going, "This shit gay," and I was like, "Well, I'm saying things are gay. It's not right." Well, you know, someone, I know people
Jasmine
that are gay. Me. Oh, yeah. Ask me 20 questions, please. Taking off my shirt, getting hot.
I honestly think this podcast could work with you as the co-host, because I feel like in a lot of ways, as much as we have in common, we are opposites in a lot of ways. Yes. I have a dog. You have many cats. I drive. You're a bicyclist. I drink. You're sober.
I'm funny. You're...
Okay, well, that'll go against
getting up to the edge.
Less cigarettes coming.
No. You were funny. I am dirt.
No. I'm tall. You're not.
I'm short.
I'm married. You're a sex-crazed bachelor, right?
Yes.
I'm bi. You're bi.
Freudian slip.
Oh, no.
Freaky Friday.
It comes out. You're bi. I'm straight. You're bipolar.
You know jujitsu. You fight jujitsu, and I haven't gotten a fist fight.
I was just going to ask, when's the last fight you've been in?
I was thinking of that the other day. Oh, I got in a fight outside a Stress Factory during the pandemic.
A physical fight?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Got my ass kicked.
Did you? Tell me about that.
Yeah. It was during the pandemic when we were doing those outdoor shows, and I was in the middle of breaking up with a girl I was dating at the time. It was a terrible nightmare relationship, and I was at, that graveyard next to the Stress Factory?
Yeah.
I was sitting my back to the fence. I'm on the phone with her and blah, blah, blah. And all these drunk people come up and like, "Oh, comedian, hey." And this guy's like,
but they were at the show?
Yeah. And they're like all breathing over me. I go, "Oh, hey man, can you back up?" Because it was like this was like July or August of 2021. 2020. 2020.
When things reclosed, so it could have been
2020.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's why.
This was August of 2020.
Yeah.
And so it was like, yo, can you just back up? And he's like, you don't believe in that shit, do you? Fuck you. And I was like, well, I'm not a fucking retard. Just back up for a second.
Yeah.
And he's like, the fuck did you say? And they're like, Moose, relax. The guy's name was Moose. The guy's name was Moose, dude.
Dude.
Moose.
You never fuck with someone named Moose.
They leave. I go back to sitting on the thing, and all of a sudden a fucking bottle crashes on my foot. And they threw a bottle at me. I go, yo, did you throw this bottle? They go, yeah, fuck you. I go, fuck you, you fucking pussy. Come and fucking fight me then, you fucking dumb bitch. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And they called my bluff.
He started Moose charging you.
Did Moose come at me.
You got the Moose tracks.
Dude, I'm on the phone with this girl like, I can be the man that you need.
Yeah.
And this guy tackled me. He was running.
Very tall, I imagine.
Running, dude, built. Apparently he was a Marine. I got tackled because he was coming at me, and it was like in my head, because I hadn't been in like a fight in so long.
Yeah.
And I'm no longer like fight guy. I used to get in fights all the time when I was younger, and I'm no longer like fight guy. I'm like, hey, comment. So like, I was still expecting him to be like, I'm fucking with you, comedian.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So I'm like, yo.
You didn't fully activate fight or flight mode.
I did fight or fucking bit mode.
Yeah,
where I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Hey, Moose, where's Rocky? Bullwinkle? Yeah. And dude, I just remember going, yo, what the fuck? And he tackled me, and he's punching me in the ribs. And I'm fucking hitting him in the fucking kidneys like this. And I'm kicking my legs, and they're pulling him off me. And I like get a kick on his shin. And he fucking is like, fuck you, blah, blah. And dude, he tackled me into the bushes, and my elbow got all cut up. My glasses flew off. And the whole time, this girl's in my ear on the phone, like, are you all right? And I'm like, I could be the man. Ow, 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 ow. Stop.
You're like the lady stomping grapes. Like,
dude, it was wild. And then I found the police, and I'm like, yo, this guy just fucking blah, blah. And they're like, we can't do anything. I go, yeah.
That's Moose. We're not going to mess with Moose.
I go, you don't got to throw him in jail. Can you just like ruin his night? Like put him in the cop car and I'll get behind you. Be like, suck my dick.
Yeah.
And like, we wish it could happen. And I'm like, okay. And
why couldn't they arrest him?
I don't know. Because it was he said, she said. No, there were no witnesses. And
wow.
And then they lied. And he was like, well, I assaulted him because he called my friend a racial slur. And like they made it up like I deserved it. And I was like, are you fucking... I mean, when the bottle hit the ground, I yelled out the N-word, but that's a natural reaction.
Yeah,
you know?
Of course. Yeah, that's
it was crazy.
It was a dark Moose.
Yeah. But dude, ever since then, I've had my hackles up, and I've gotten in confrontation on the street where I've gripped people up, but I haven't like gotten in a fight.
You grip people up, and then what do? They just go, hey. Because that's the thing that I'm so fascinated about with jiu-jitsu now. It's like I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 2 years, and I'm like I'm like almost seeking conflict just as like, but I don't want it. But I'm also like,
I wish I could put my brain in your knowledgeable skills of fighting.
But here's the thing. It's like my last like squared up fight, I think was like 4th grade. And yet I think I had the kid, and then I was just like, I saw him and I go, I should learn how to like murder someone with my hands, like just in case, you know what I mean? But I there was a thing where I was going to the Comedy Cellar, and I had parked. I was at right that intersection of like West 3rd and McDougal, and I had the green light, and I was driving, and some guy just was like wandering slow through the middle of the intersection or whatever. So I was like beeping on the horn because I'm like, dude, like not only do you not have the right of way, but you could get hit by a car, you know? And then he like slapped the hood of my car, and I like put the car in park.
That's a fighting slap.
I put the car in park, and I was like, let's have fun. But then I like looked at him more, and he definitely was like one of the, you know, like the park vagrants that live out there that are like, you know, like like you know,
like
I'm not
you
gonna
punch him in the mouth, you get an infected.
Yeah,
hand,
exactly. Yeah, yeah. He's like, it's like The Last of Us. Like I get bit. You know,
you become a clicker.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to get in fights. I would get in so much trouble when I was drinking, and I'd win some, and then I'd lose some. And
I don't think I knew you then. I knew you as this weed. I remember smoking weed with you.
Yeah.
Outside the creek.
Yeah, but when I used to go up to people and just slap their drink out of their hand and be like, let's go. Like, I used to have a lot of anger in me. And I haven't, it's like I'm like itching for it sometimes, but I feel like I would just be like,
Were you?
But I really pop off. Like a guy riding a bike, he smacked my coffee out of my hand. I spit in his face, and then he took his phone out to film me.
Spit in his face, fucking.
And then
just Titanic style, dude.
I took my bike chain. I was like, "You want to fucking go? You fucking pussy! Put this on the internet." And he was like, "You're crazy! You're crazy!" And I got on my bike and I go, "Welcome to New York," and I rode off.
How old was he?
He was probably like in his 30s or 40s.
Love it.
Like a French guy.
Oh, you love a good "you're crazy."
Oh yeah.
That would make me feel happy.
Well, I'm a little guy, so I got to win with crazy.
Yeah, you got to come in hot. You got to come with that. Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Unless your name is Moose, and then you're gonna kill me.
I'm gonna try.
Dude, I will never forget getting Goldberg speared into the bush. I mean, dude,
a crowd just cheers. He does like.
They were all like Moose.
Yeah,
and then like we're dual hitting in the ribs, and then they're like pulling him.
Were your ribs shattered? They must have been bruised.
Dude, my elbow was like cut up and bleeding. No, because I landed like that. Oof. Yeah, I had bruises. I'm just glad he didn't fucking knock me in the face.
Me too. Which, by the way, I was gonna ask this later, but this is the perfect time for this. Is that you were in like a crazy car accident, and you're like lucky to even be alive. So with that said, and with the moose, everything like. Do you think God, especially during the car accident, do you think God was trying to like tell you something, or is he just not as accurate in his old age?
I think I have had so many chances at death, and I've escaped them each time, that God is truly with me and saving me for something.
Interesting. For this podcast, perhaps.
Maybe for another cigarette.
Easy. After this next question, because this will be interesting, I think. You once told me that Nirvana wasn't great because Kurt Cobain was boring.
I never said that. I never said they weren't great.
Kurt Cobain was boring.
I never said they weren't great. We were talking about dynamic stage performances.
That's what I'm saying. You said Nirvana wasn't great because Kurt
No,
Cobain
I never
was
said
boring
they weren't
live.
great. I said Kurt was more of a standstill guy, which is not as dynamic as other frontmen. And I have since admitted I was wrong.
This is exactly which I love about you. Now, which brings me to my question: what other things in your life have you been like completely wrong about?
So many things.
Yeah.
I am pretty proud of the fact that I can admit when I'm wrong, and I will give that to you. But also at the same time, I'm right like 98% of the time. And I will
just not when it comes to Kurt Cobain being. You also probably saw.
I did not say they were not great. Don't put those fucking words in my mouth. I don't know if you said they.
I think you were like.
I'll jiu-jitsu you right now, and I don't care if I lose. Okay?
All right. Well, you admitted you were wrong, so thank you. We talked about this before you came on. Like, I've opened the books on this podcast for you. You've seen the numbers. Like, this is a rocket ship to superstardom here, pal. You know, look at that.
Like the Challenger.
Yeah. Are you worried about like the pressure, the pressure that'll come with this?
Pressure?
Yeah.
I thrive in pressure.
You do?
Yeah.
Because I feel like it could go one of two ways. You could be perfect for it, or it could absolutely destroy the delicate ecosystem that you have going on.
Delicate ecosystem. I work best when I'm busy, when I got a million things going on.
I do love that. You do that. You work well, but yeah, this is true.
So fucking put it on my plate, dog. Let's go.
All right. Let me ask you this.
I'm a worker. I love working.
You do love worker.
Yeah.
I could see you in another life just being like a guy who like digs ditches. Like my mom had a good friend, and he was just like a manual labor guy, and like he like.
That's who I was.
But he would dig ditches and do stuff in like on the sides of highways, and he would work so aggressively and fast that like all of his other coworkers were like, you gotta like this is like a 6-month job, dude. Like you're doing this in a week. Like they were like, this is a union job. You know what I mean?
Well,
like
whatever I do, my addiction goes into.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So like when I was a carpenter, I was working for a company during the week, and then I do side licks on my own to like get better tools so I could be better at this and get a raise at that, and then make more money on this, and then like, I sold construction estimates, and I worked my way up to be, the manager of like a team and everything. And
this is before this is after the teaching?
This was back in Delaware.
That's wild too.
But yeah, or like, I don't know, just I love working in whatever capacity I just like making money.
Yeah.
I think
money's great.
But I also take pride in work, you know what I mean? Like I really take a lot of pride in doing a good job at the things I do,
This is an outside the box question here.
So which goes to say I would take a lot of pride in this job of co-hosting.
Hell yeah, man.
And I'd be down to work, and I think a 60-40 split would be great. 60-40.
Which way?
60-40.
Oh, well, we can talk about that, my friend. I mean, you're walking on to an already successful vehicle here. You know what I'm saying? Like this is we already have ads. Matt, we got ads, right? Yeah. So we got ads coming in. I mean, there's like we'll talk about it again.
I don't know if you're familiar with the idea of flaming out, but a lot of times things are big and they go away.
Right.
So me coming on would kind of ensure that the flame burns bright.
Oh.
I think that'd be worth like
you're
the
fire
60,
retardant.
And then you got the second part of that 2-word sentence. Correct.
Do you
love
think,
Nosferatu? Oh.
Do you think that you've already met the most important person in your life?
Yes, because every day I meet myself and I look in the mirror and I say, hello,
Is
Ian.
this Dusty Rhodes?
It is. I don't know who it is, but sometimes I like talking in this accent. I follow 2 gay men on Instagram, and they talk like this, and they go out
That's
to
also
eat
the gay guy from
fast
Family Guy.
Food together.
Hey.
His name's Dakota. Oh, I love him. What was the question?
Do you think you've already met the most important person in your life? It's kind of a trippy,
very philosophical question. Well, I mean, it depends on your definition of importance.
What's yours?
I think someone that has a long-lasting impression on you, and long after they're gone, you can still read the creases of their thumbprint on the page of your life. And if that's the case, then I feel yes, I already have, and that person would be my
just
father.
For speaking in poetry, whatever the hell that was incredible. Read the thumb creases on their pages of your life. Is that what you just said?
The thumbprint on the pages of your life.
I liked that, man. That was a great answer. Okay. This will be fun. What's the worst job interview you ever had?
I spent the night in jail a couple years ago. Totally fucked up and coked out of my mind. And
a couple years ago?
Yeah.
You're sober 10 years. Coked up out of your mind?
Yeah, this was like 2013. 2011.
Okay, so that was more. You can't say a
like
couple years
2011?
ago. A couple years ago implies a couple. This was more than a decade ago.
Yeah, this is 2011, I think.
Right. Okay.
No, 2013. Yeah. Anyway, I got a job from my coke dealer with his cousin at a fucking financial firm, so that I could keep buying coke, and this drug dealer did more for me than the government did at the unemployment office.
Yeah.
But, I spent the night in jail, and I got out of jail, and I had a job interview that day, and I immediately went home and just fucking did like a horseshoe rail of yak and went to the job interview, and the guy is like, so how was your morning?
What was the job for?
To be an administrative assistant at a financial firm or some shit. I don't even know what I did. Yeah. I don't even know, dude. I would get in trouble all the time for talking really low on the phone because I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't want anyone to find out.
Why are you whispering?
Insane, dude. I would just go get loaded at the bar across the street.
Wait, you got the job?
Oh, I got the job. Oh yeah.
So it wasn't. But the interview was.
I've never not gotten a job. I've applied for,
shit.
except to be a delivery driver with Domino's Pizza back in Delaware.
Really?
I don't know why. I had a bunch of speeding tickets.
Yes,
but I always I'm very fortunate.
So you got the job working for this firm. You didn't know what you were doing, and you were just calling, whispering.
Completely bullshitting my way through it, and I would have to find files. I remember there was like a Pinsky debacle because I pulled the wrong file. But dude, I would just show up fucking hammered. I'd get there. On the way to work, I'd get a thing of Irish Rose and Georgie. and I'd down the Georgie, and then I'd have the Irish Rose for throughout the day. I'd puke in the toilet, go sit at my desk.
Jesus
and
Christ.
It was a fucking nightmare, dude. I was on food stamps. It was fucking nuts.
Dude,
I wish I still had my ID because I got a new ID during that time, and dude, I am bloated and just disgusting.
Even some of your old headshots are wild. Like your early headshots are crazy. That's funny you mentioned that because you just reminded me. Literally, my first job interview out of college, I was interviewing to do like an ad sales for radio at like. I thought it was at WFAN.
There's another job I didn't get, but anyway, go ahead.
I'll tell you. Let's get to that in a sec. But I thought I was interviewing for WFAN, so I went in and was like, I was sitting with the head of the company, and I kept being like, I kept working in like baseball references and being like big Yankee fan. The guy's like, okay, and like a quarter to a halfway through the interview, I realized it wasn't for that. It was for like 880 News. Like it was for like IMIS, you know what I mean? Like those guys, like with like just it was like it was like news radio I was interviewing for, and so I immediately both had no idea and was out of my element. And then the guy was like, you know what? He's like, he's like, I don't feel like you're right for this, but I'm wrong about people sometimes. Let me set you up with my best sales guy. So this like young hotshot Asian sales guy comes over and he's like, let's go to the conference room. So he takes me to this conference room. He's like, I made $150,000 last month. He's like, how much money are you looking to make? I was like, first job out of college, first interview out of college. I was like, I just graduated.
$12
yeah,
an hour.
I'm like, a lot would be great. And he's like, how bad do you want it? He's like, are you interested in this? He's like,
eat this M&M out of my
He's
ass.
like, are you willing to sacrifice days of your life? He's like, are you willing to work late? Are you willing to? I had like a big Steve Harvey fitting suit because I didn't own suits. I had an eyebrow piercing. He's like, you got to get rid of that. I immediately was like, yeah, I don't think this is a fit, dude.
That's so funny. I never had an ear piercing or anything. My mom was like, you can get a tattoo, but you're not getting your ears pierced.
My mom was the opposite. She said, she's like, I'll pay for you to pierce both your nipples instead of getting a tattoo when I was going to get my first tattoo.
Wow.
And then she was also like, if you wait 3 years and you still want the tattoo, I'll pay for it.
My mom was there with me. I was 17. I got my first tattoo.
That rules.
Yeah, she signed for it at the shop.
I like that. What was the other job?
Oh, dude, in college, I tried to get a job cold calling people to get money for the Alumni Association. And I had like a script, right? And they're like, okay, so we're going to have you go over the script, and then you're going to call and cold call, and we'll talk to you afterwards to see if you got it or not. I'm
right.
Like, okay. So I'm like doing it, and dude, I'm stuttering, and I'm like, and I go, look, I'm on an interview right now for this job. Can you just donate what you can just so I can get the job? I really need it. And they go, sir, we're in the other room. And it was them, and I was like, oh no. Whoopsie.
You're like, the phone's not even plugged into anything, sir. We're connected by the soup can is connected to the string. Dude, that's
it's a two-way mirror. I'm like picking
so
my
embarrassing,
nose, like,
dude. So you didn't say, yeah.
No, I didn't
like,
get
that's
it.
so funny.
Oh yeah,
that's great. I love that. That's very fun. How do I access the dark web? Have you ever been on the dark web?
No.
I'm afraid to even like Google it because I feel like if I type that, it's going to put me on a list. But like, I just want to like see what's going on over there. It's got to be more than just
in my mind, it looks like MS-DOS. Remember MS-DOS?
Like a
where
very...
you did type in like C:/
right, yeah.
something.
No, I don't think it's code. There's like a full internet that I think is like...
I don't know what a VPN is. I don't know anything.
But like it's got to be more than just drugs and guns and sex slavery, right?
What else is there?
I mean,
what else could you want?
But someone told me something crazy like that the internet that we access is only like 2% of the actual internet.
No, that's not true.
Isn't that crazy?
That's not true.
I will never be able to
It's
know.
like that whole thing that's like, you only use 5% of your brain. It's like, I'm using more than that. Okay.
6?
5.5.
But I just, aren't you ever curious? You're not curious about what's going on in the dark web?
No.
Huh. Matt, have you ever been on the dark web? He's on it right now. Look at that. Here you
I
go.
remember
SWAT's coming in. I don't think you can go on there. I think it's like, I feel like it would track.
Trying to think
even with a VPN
of the site. Oh, Arrowwood. Do you remember Arrowwood?
No.
That was like a drug review site where you could then, like, you had to know certain code words to get. No. It's EROWID, I think. Arrowwood. Yeah.
Whoa.
This was where you could learn about drugs, and it had a message board, and there was a way to figure out how to communicate with people to get the drugs.
Whoa.
And it would be people's like anecdotal stories of like how much you take, what this drug would do, XYZ. But that's my only experience with like a so-called dark web. I wouldn't even know what to like.
But
I don't even know how to Google stuff.
But if you type that, I feel like if you type that in your phone, you're on a list.
Yeah, that's like looking up like child stuff. Like, why would you ever type
that's
that?
That's the thing. It's because the implication, if you type in, how do I get to the dark web? The implication is always that you're trying to go there for some child.
That's just like when you get caught killing someone in your last Google search is like, how do you decompose a body?
Right.
You know, it's like there's some things you just don't look up.
Yeah.
And that's why we have a library.
Yeah.
You know?
With a VPN on it.
Yeah.
You're always very like positive, which I think you're known for that, right? You're known for being a positive guy.
Sure.
What is it like being like completely disconnected from reality, that you could live in such like a good state at all times?
Oh, I'm living in a hell of my own design.
But you project. You're
well,
good at projecting.
I don't project.
Is it a fake it till you make it?
No, it's a keep some things personal. So like, I don't really ever let people in on when things are bad. And
so that is a fake it till you make it in a sense. Isn't
well,
it?
I mean, anything's fake it till you make it. We're all posers till we're not. You know, like once you get into a thing, you're kind of posing as if this is your thing, and then it eventually becomes your thing. You know, and it's like, I know what it's like to be in the darkness, so I would rather be a source of light. And so I feel like my role, and maybe why God has saved me so many times, is to bring
certainly
light
not because
to this world.
he's getting old now, and
he's a young guy.
He misses with the lightning
in the
bolts.
grand scheme of things, he's young.
Okay,
he is the oldest thing ever, but
in the grand scheme of things, there couldn't be anyone older. Admitting you're wrong, props.
Yeah. But no, I feel like that's for me. And I certainly go through. I mean, you know, when I don't respond to you for like days or
you don't do that now. You didn't do that for this.
I should have been saying that to a friend.
I'm gonna make
cross
a
a
note
leg
of that.
for a punchline. No, but I mean, I don't know. The world's too much of a negative place to put that out there all the time. I would much rather be positive and feel good, you know?
Okay. Well, this brings me to the fun little exercise I think we could do, which is what's something in society that you would like to fix?
TSA.
And how would you do it?
TSA.
Okay, TSA. You were right there. You don't have clear. You don't have pre-check.
I have clear. I have pre-check. I have digital ID, and it's still.
So what's the problem?
It is so backed up and so ridiculous.
You can't do pre-check. Is essentially the general admission. Like pre-check is
clear
nothing.
Is now general admission.
Yeah.
Everybody is
but
clear now.
I heard digital ID is the way to go.
I have it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I got it.
It's free if you're Delta. It's free. Yeah. But nobody uses it. It's just got its own line.
Yeah, but the thing is, the lines get so backed up, and the people there are so stupid that it's like, hey, can you not keep a job as a ticket taker at a movie theater?
Okay.
Why don't you work for the TSA?
I have some friends that are there.
And it's so frustrating the way the lines get backed up. There needs to be a better system. They need to have, like, you know, and now, like, we still have 9/11 protocols where you're not allowed to bring, like, more than 3.2 fluid ounces. Yeah. It's like, dude, give me a fucking break, man. Why don't we do some stereotyping? That would help things go through pretty quickly.
Yeah, stop and frisk.
Hey, no. Hey, do you look like you would be a bad guy? We're going to pull you over. Do you look like a fucking 80-year-old woman that has a cane? Well, we got to inspect the cane. Do you really think this woman's going to fucking have, you know, C4 in her cane?
But
Go fuck yourself.
Now, what if it's a Middle Eastern 80-year-old woman?
She shouldn't be allowed in the airport.
Duh, these are rules. Yeah.
Did you know? Did you know that under 12 and over 75, you don't have to take your belt off. You don't have to take your shoes. It's arbitrary.
But what about
it's completely
but what
fucking
about like
made
don't
up.
they like make kids like be little like drug mules sometimes or terrorists or something like that?
I mean, apparently not, because they fucking let the kids go through. It's arbitrary. It is the exact same thing as the age of consent. Okay,
Isn't it? It's more of a deterrent, and that's no.
I know. Joke I made.
I don't think it was a
Let's
joke.
Go back.
No.
Because it was a joke.
No.
You
Let's keep that
bulldozed
on
through,
the record.
and it upset me. Take a cigarette back.
Yeah, truly. I think that was wild. But I agree that I think it's more of a deterrent than anything else. Like the TSA, it's just supposed to be like it's like a traffic. I'm so
You're
not,
so bad at smoking.
cigarette.
Your body's rejecting.
Yeah, my body's just like get it out. I probably had less than a pack of cigarettes my entire life. The only time we're ever in college, and that was
dude. Let me see how you smoke it. Because I always love watching people smoke it for the first time. They're like, they're like,
here's how I would do it. I'll go like this. I don't want to hold on.
Oh my God. No.
This is very cool. Look, see, but how is that? You're not getting it.
Venkman.
How do you getting it to do that? How do you do that? Saliva? That was very cool.
Venkman.
Oh, that was all right. You got another one for that. That was good.
Yeah. Well, it's the one I gave you.
It's one I gave you. So
I don't know. The TSA sucks.
But what I'm saying is TSA is just a deterrent.
More bloated bureaucracy.
Do you get a little nervous? But I guess you don't ever like bring things in. What about, do you ever bring any
when
weapons?
I got arrested at the airport? Yeah,
you got arrested at the airport
for a little while.
You got arrested at the airport?
Yeah, Newark
When?
Airport in like 2022.
For what?
Brass knuckles. I didn't know I had them in my coat.
They were in your coat? Not even like your check on? You were going to bring them onto the plane?
I didn't know I had them in my coat. I thought I lost them. They were deep in a pocket.
Also, like, you can't take over a plane with brass knuckles.
Exactly. It was in the same pocket. I had a mustache comb.
You can get a few good cracks at people, though.
Oh, yeah.
And also, it probably
It'll shut the baby up.
It'll probably also help you get closer, because that door, that steel door they have, you can get some good dents in that, maybe.
Dude, they leave the door open all the time. It's like
no,
crazy.
not anymore. They put the stupid drink card in front when they go to pee. You know how they do that whole thing?
The door open so many times.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that scared me for a little bit. And then...
Did you miss your flight? Or was it coming back?
It's a flight. Buddy, they threw me in jail.
But there's airport jail,
I went to
right?
jail.
It's like going to...
I went to jail in Newark.
So, but I'm saying you got taken away from Newark Airport and sent to a jail, or was it like when you got arrested at a baseball game and there's like a jail in the stadium?
They took me to jail.
Wow.
Yeah. My call was to Attell to be like, I can't make the gig tonight. And luckily, I did some slick shit where we were,
punched
out
they're
like, listen, we're going to put you in jail, blah, blah. And I go, can I just text my girlfriend and let her know? And they're like, yeah. And I looked up flights and I canceled the flight and then got another flight out that day and was like, do you think I'll get out today? They're like, this is at like 6:50 a.m. They were like, yeah, you'll probably be out, around like 1 or 2. And I'm like, okay. So then I bought like a 3:30 flight and just prayed that it worked out.
Whoa.
And then when I got to the cell, they let me call someone. I called Attell to be like, hey, I'm in jail. I'm not going to make the first gig. I made it to the second gig, got out of the airport, out of the cab, walked immediately on stage. It was crazy.
What's like the fine on an airport arrest?
A class 4 felony weapons charge.
Felony?
Yeah.
Do you still have it? You didn't get that expunged?
The
lawyer you bought a gun for? Oh, that's a doctor.
His son.
Really?
My criminal defense attorney.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you buy him a pair of brass knuckles?
J-Bones. No, but I told him I would always shout him out. Jimmy Bonner is an attorney in Jersey and Philly. If you ever need someone to get you out of trouble,
Call
Jimmy
J-Bone.
Bonner Esquire.
Yeah.
Me and him have done coke on a jet ski, and he was my attorney at law.
There is no way he wants you to use his real name when you talk about doing coke to him.
You're right. Yeah, but he got me off. Pled down to misdemeanor criminal mischief, and I just had to be. I was on probation for a year, and then
community service.
It got expunged. No, got expunged, and then when I got jammed up for that weapon a couple months ago, I was so nervous that my paperwork didn't go through and I was going to go to Rikers.
Right.
Like that really jammed me up because I was supposed to get out in the morning and I didn't get out till like 7. But we found out a pipe leaked in the jail. And so every court case got backed up. So then I was the last name they called at like 6:30 and I was sweating it because I'm like, oh my God, my paperwork got fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm going to Rikers. I'm going to die.
Wow, you're going to meet a lot of moose over there.
The next day, I flew to Cleveland to throw out the first pitch at a Guardians game.
That's crazy, dude. That's so. Did you throw a strike? No.
If we were playing cricket.
Okay. If we were bowling.
Yeah.
I think I would like, you know what I'd like to fix? I'd like to fix
this podcast and have me as your co-host. I agree.
Look at that. I like the confidence. Take a cigarette. Yeah, I'd like to fix Uber drivers talking to us. I like a transactional. I don't need to. I don't want this.
Yeah, take the hint. Pleasantries and then keep it moving.
But here's how I fix it. We only hire the deaf. You know when you get a notification when you get an Uber, you're like, this guy might be hard of hearing, and then they don't talk, and you're like, I tip them so much more because I'm trying to game like the algorithm of Uber.
See,
being
I try
like,
to make them feel
deaf.
welcome, and I go, "How are you?"
You're trying to talk through the rearview mirror with shadows, you know? Fuck, dude. I don't know. I do think there's like we could maybe fix the world here, you know? You and I have a good, we went to music concerts together. I like going to concerts with you. I like going to mosh pits with you and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that kind of fun? That is where I've gotten in a good amount of aggression out. You get to just punch people.
Bro, I was up in Boston last Sunday at Haywire, Skinhead, New York Hounds. Amazing. Stage diving, losing my mind. I'm 40. I'm paying for it.
How's the
my
back
hurts.
though? Yeah, I was gonna say you were in a cane for a while.
Recommended to me by Louis J. Gomez.
Yeah,
not good.
Yeah, but probably cheap and probably a happy ending place.
I say no.
But it was but if it's offered that already, if you're in a place where
when they offer, I say no. I'm in a good place in my life.
That's great. But the fact that you're even you're there for, that's the only reason that they're pissed that when you say no, by the way.
They are relieved.
They're relieved because they're under sex slave, and they came from a fucking shipping container.
They go, oh, friendly, nice.
Don't do the voice.
Oh.
But I'm saying, do you understand, like if you're in an establishment that is even offering that, you're in the wrong place to get a good massage.
There's a place called Soho Spa by the Cellar that I go to, gives a really good massage. I used to get hand jobs there, and now they text me when they have new girls.
Okay.
I get texts that are like, new girl Abby here, you want? And I'm like,
but that's what I'm saying.
And they're like, we miss you. And I'm like, oh my God.
Do you pay? I bet you pay.
I go in there and it's like cheers.
And
everybody knows my name. They're like, yeah.
Is it like super, like, are they just a bunch of creepy guys? Have you ever seen a woman waiting for a massage there?
At the place today, a couple women came in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe that, but they didn't offer you a happy ending. It's a good quality place then. That's usually a good sign.
But they do. Some places do offer, and I say no.
That's nice of you.
And I had to transition away from getting them to them playing with my balls while I jerk myself off to them me finally going no.
Wait, they would play with your balls while you jerked off?
I'd go, I can take it from here.
Is it because of the angle? They just didn't have a good angle for you, or you're just like, we're wasting time?
You know yourself better than anyone else.
Of course. And a hand job, I mean, you're paying so much more. You're tipping, I'm sure, a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you. Good for you. All right. Well, I feel like this has honestly been this feels like a good. This
pair.
feels like a good. We got
pair.
something. As long as I keep showing up with cigarettes, I feel like.
Oh my God!
I feel like we're gonna be okay.
Yeah!
Now,
shotgun barrel.
Now, I just want to. This will be the last thing, and we'll wrap this up. But
was this not better than that last schlub?
This was. I gotta be honest. This is the best interview so far. I'm feeling great about our chances, our prospects, and everything. I'd just like to bring it home with one last question, because obviously we're great friends, right?
Yes.
You would say that?
Yes.
We've known each other well over 10 years. I met your mom. We've talked about all this and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Met Gail, lovely woman. Mm-hmm. What's my middle name?
You'll find out on the next episode of I don't even know the name of this podcast.
All right. Too hard of a question. I understand. Fine.
What's my middle name?
I'll make it easy. What's my
middle name?
I'm asking the questions here,
No,
sir.
there you
I'm
go.
asking the questions
Look
here.
at that deflection.
Hold on.
Wow. And it all comes crumbling.
What's my wife's name?
Samantha. Of course I know your wife's name. I don't want to blow it. Is it okay to say Erica?
Yeah, it is. Okay, that's right. All right. What's my kid's name?
Do you want that?
Is that out there?
Is it out there?
I don't
Is
know.
That okay
what
to
does it
say?
start with?
It's Derek Jeter. L.
Yes, it does start with an L. Okay,
Yes.
honestly, 2 out of 3. More than I thought.
You send me videos of your kid dancing to Turnstile.
It's pretty
that
sick.
I put on the dark web.
All right, listen.
Hey, wait, what's your middle name?
I thought you were going to, it's Thomas.
That's my middle name.
It's not your middle name. There's no way that it's your middle name.
No?
If it's your middle name.
This show's mine. What's the T stand for?
Let me see. It doesn't say.
Certainly ain't Tyler.
It's Tyler. Your middle name is Tyler?
My middle name is Tyler Fisher. Hey guys, I'm up here. Or down here. It's Thomas.
That's great. I didn't know that about us. Now we've unlocked a new level of friendship.
Michael Thomas Feeney, Ian Thomas Fidance.
And my dad.
What's your confirmation name? Say it on 3. 1, 2, 3. John.
Oh, but Jay though. That's pretty close. Wow.
What was the name of your imaginary friend growing up? Say it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Venatio.
What did you say? Venetia?
Venatio.
Venatio.
It was a deer.
It was a deer?
Mm-hmm.
Why Venetia? Italian?
Just came to me.
Venatio. I've never met another person named that. Would you name a pet that? You should name a pet that. That's a good pet name. If you had a pet deer, I guess.
You should get your son's name tattooed on you.
I want to get
in a classic, like
I think
New York City font.
I think this is the year I start getting a lot of tattoos.
Yeah,
but I filled up my legs a lot, so I'm like, I don't know where to go. I want to maybe start doing this and everything, but I feel like I'll really.
What would you get?
I that's the problem. I want a million tattoos. I have no ideas,
bro.
Except
classic.
for my kid. The kid is
classic.
I don't know.
Leo, Erica.
No, you can't get your wife's name.
Why?
Never.
Just cross it out if shit hits a fan.
Yeah, but then that's a whole to do.
But it looks cool.
It does.
Then you can put the next one on there. Rosebud.
Just Hey, man, listen, I like the prospects, and I thank you for coming in, and we...
well, I certainly hope I pass the audition.
We'll be in touch.
We're touching right now.
Someone ordered pepperoni? And does the audience go like a big pop?
No.